So I'd like us to talk a bit more about parent-friendly values. How can fathers get involved in childcare to enable breastfeeding to be more gender equitable?
Yes, so we talk about creating a breastfeeding parenting team, and there, of course, the father of the child or the partner to the mother has a very important role. And as any team player, you will have different roles. And so if the breastfeeding is the mother's role, that the support that she needs and communicating, having a good communication and asking what is needed and at what time and so on, that's very important. That's essential, I would say, that to establish good communication about what is needed in terms of breastfeeding, and also both from the mother's perspective and the father's or partner's perspective. But taking care of if there are other children in the family, taking care of them. When the baby is not being breastfed, of course, it has needs of being cared for in terms of, playing, caring, changing. We're talking about changing diapers and bonding and being close, skin to skin with your baby. That's a very important thing that the father or partner can do. And also support the mother if she needs help in any way. Also being informed, keeping yourself informed about how good breastfeeding is and how it works. Of course, it's a very dynamic thing. So when in the early days, the breastfeeding, when it's being established, to know about how to position, attach the baby, to help the mother be comfortable if she's sitting or lying down. Perhaps just simple things like bringing pillows, propping up, making sure that there are not too many visitors in the early days, taking care of the domestic work and, around the house and things like that. And of course, sharing both the care work, but also the domestic work and everything that needs to be done in the household. Making sure that other family members are informed and are on board also with what the parents have decided as their breastfeeding goals. So there are many things, practical things that make a big difference actually to breastfeeding. We've got a lot of research coming out from different parts of the world showing that actually when the father or partner is supportive, that breastfeeding rates actually increase up to double. So this is something that's not only very nice and cozy, but also extremely important in terms of the impact that it has.
So what can advocates do to promote gender equity or gender equitable values and norms?
Yeah, so advocates. So if we start with parents, that of course that seeking the information that we've talked about earlier. Making sure that you discuss these things in the family context, and especially between the couple, the mother and the father or the partner. What are your goals? Setting a common goal in terms of breastfeeding. How are we going to share the parental leave if that is available, or the maternity leave? How are we going to arrange once you go back to work? What can I do? What will you do to, essentially thrashing out what are your roles and how you're going to manage. So this is, I think, very important in terms of the gender equity also, and in terms of equality, because sometimes we talk about these two interchangeably, but they're actually a bit different. Equity is more looking at the needs and of each parent, that whereas equality is making sure that both parents get equal share of whatever it is in terms of, let's say, parental leave. And we do believe that gender equity is actually a more important goal in this sense, because if the mother needs more support, especially when she's breastfeeding, and she may need more time off. And for example, she needs to take her maternity leave. And then as the child grows older, then the father can come in and take more time off with, let's say, if there is parental leave or paternity leave. So gender equity kind of works very well with breastfeeding. At the same time, we do want women and men to be more equal. I think the world will be a better place when that happens everywhere. So we work for both of these, gender equity and gender equality. And so as advocates, we have to also advocate then for gender equitable programs where both parents are given space and time and support, but also in relation to their needs. And we can also then as advocates engage with trade unions, employers, policymakers, governments essentially, to make sure that those laws and policies that we talked about, the parental social protection, that they are in place and that they are implemented and monitored as well. So there are a lot of different things we can work with the media, make sure that anywhere you are or whoever you are, you can actually advocate for something, to raise the issue even at your own workplace. What kind of rights do we have here as parents in my workplace? Is there a breastfeeding room, for example? Are there breastfeeding breaks, and so on and so forth? So you can actually work on different levels, from the small to the large